Namaskaram. Welcome to India now. I'm very happy here with Ludger together that we landed in India in Bangalore at this very beautiful place. And here we met Chitra and Lata. And they both will introduce themselves to you. So maybe Chitra, you want to start to introduce yourself and maybe this wonderful place we are here.
So we are at the Advaya Shale Waldorf School in Bangalore, and I'm Chitra, and part of the Philosophy of Freedom annual training this year. Very happy to be here.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Lata. I'm the co-founder of Advaya Shale, part of the team, joined the annual training for Philosophy of Freedom, and happy to have Andreas and Ludger in Bangalore with us.
Thank you very much, you both. It's really a great chance for us to meet you, and also this wonderful school and the bazaar, the winter bazaar we have been, and all the classes we have seen, the Waldorf classes, and to see that the Waldorf school is really a worldwide movement, even if you do it in the way it fits to your culture. And I think you also founded the school and other places here. Maybe you can just tell something about that.
I founded Prakriti Waldorf Kindergarten about 16 years back. There were only two other kindergartens, Promise Center and Kingdom of Childhood, which existed. The three schools came together and Bangalore Steiner School was born. And after a few years, some of us moved out and formed Advaya Shale, which has now grown from class 1 to class 8. Mm-hmm. Today is our winter bazaar, which you were part of. Mm-hmm. And it's been a wonderful journey. Mm-hmm. The school has grown and the community has grown. And we are very, very happy with the way we are progressing.
Yeah.
Thanks to all the help of the universe, the other Waldorf schools, and all the Waldorf community.
Okay. So now it's Sunday. It's a living Waldorf school. We even have students here. I'm wondering, now we in the Western have this spiritual path of anthroposophy, but you in India, you have so much spirituality. Why do you have the purpose to bring anthroposophy and Waldorf teaching here, to grow it here?
The whole thing started because we wanted to change the landscape of the way education was done here. There was a lot of rote learning, a lot of cramming of how much of knowledge can go into one child. And we wanted to change that. Mm-hmm. The spirituality has always been part of the houses and the homes where we grow. Mm-hmm. But it was never brought into education.
Okay.
And because it's a multicultural land with Islam, Buddhism, Jewish, Catholics, Protestants, Hindus, Jains, many different type of cultures come all together at one place. And Steiner education was much easier to follow. Mm-hmm. While keeping and retaining our culture, mm-hmm. we made a curriculum that could adapt to the Indianness of it. Mm-hmm. And we are very happy with that.
Wonderful, yeah. So now we are studying together the Philosophy of Freedom. You both are in the annual training, Philosophy of Freedom. And today we had a lecture together. And we talked also about that maybe even for the Indian people it's easier to understand the Philosophy of Freedom, the first part, because the spirituality that lives within is quite common to you. Maybe, Chitra, you can say something about this similarity.
So in India, I personally find that spirituality and religion are very mixed together. And of course, because it's everywhere we go, there is religion at least very actively in India, all of us, whether we are religiously inclined or not, we have a understanding of a lot of the concepts which are now being, we're thinking about it. So we've lived it, we see it, we hear about it, but we don't think about it. So I think the philosophy of freedom in India is now articulating a lot of what we just know intuitively, or we've just grown up with and it's part of the environment, but we've not given it, not necessarily always given it a deep thought, because when it comes through a religious mode, we are trained to accept it as the reality. You don't question, you don't ask about it, but here is an opportunity to think about it and ask questions and make a deeper understanding than what the lived consciousness is, because it is in our collective consciousness, but it is not in our conscious thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds very exciting. So you say that in the philosophy of freedom, we enter a space of spirituality, or a realm of spirituality that somehow intuitively lives in your culture.
Yes.
That's great. Yeah. And also in the last chapter, we entered a realm of oneness and beyond duality. We have learned that, or experienced that, the living thinking, the pure thinking, is beyond subject and object, and that through this we can enter this realm of oneness in the world. And that also is quite a normal thought, or a normal idea in your culture, isn't it?
Yes.
You want to talk about it? Because that's
So their duality is there in our books. I'm a follower of Hinduism, and there is what we call Advaita, that is oneness, and Dvaita, which is duality. So even our school, the name Advaya is unification or oneness, which we want. I have not read all the book scriptures, but what little of I know of, the Upanishads say the truth is oneness exists. And in that oneness, once we take birth and your individuality develops, we bring in the duality, but again we work towards the oneness. So when Steiner talks about it in the philosophy of freedom, it just rings a bell somewhere, and it is totally brought into focus, and that's when we wake up and something clicks.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what we grew up with in the stories that grandmother told us, you know. So
Yeah.
that connection or connecting the dots happens, but of course after a lot of thinking.
Yeah.
That is spelled out in the philosophy of freedom.
Yeah, that's so wonderful that you say that. And that also for Ludger and me, as we realized that we are here in a spiritual culture that has as a goal to realize oneness again, what we also have as a goal in the philosophy of freedom, and that the spiritual world somehow means oneness again on the one hand, and on the other hand it means to see things from many different perspectives, so that comes together, and that is also one.
Yes.
And even now you say that in the stories your grandmother told you, so in your cultural stories you have this maybe fight, or this say that we have gone into duality, and now we have to look or to see how we can come again into this sphere of oneness. And that's exactly what we are also doing with the philosophy of freedom, but not through the stories or through feeling or through willpower, but through pure thinking. So to open this spiritual sphere again.
Yes, very true.
Okay, that's so wonderful to meet you here and to experience that.
Yes.
You want to say something? No? Okay. Yeah, it's such a pleasure to meet you here, to have this exchange, to experience how close we are on one hand, even if the culture is so different, that if we come to this pure thinking, that is very alive thinking, and that we are all humans are somehow equal in this sphere. It's our somehow our essence or our being is in this sphere, and I have the feeling that I can experience that much more through having these experiences with you and this country, and also other countries, and so different understandings come together and build a whole picture of all that. Yeah.
It's like a universal journey together.
Yeah, that's
the same
it.
train.
Yeah, that's it. It's the same train.
Yeah.
And maybe the humanity often forget that it's the same train we are all in.
Yes.
And we have to rebuild the consciousness that it really is like that. And we are not so far from each other, even if we live at the opposite of the world. Yeah. So thank you very much. It was a pleasure to meeting you and the school, and to see what all lives here with the people in the kindergarten and in the school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, then bye.